So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a comparison review against the 2026 Cadillac Escalade Sport versus the 2026 Lincoln Navigator Black Label. And if you guys are new here, my name is Jason and I do reviews and comparisons just like this here in Canada. Also, thank you to Wallace Chevy in Milton for allowing me to review the Escalade Sport, and to Mayfield Ford Lincoln for allowing me to review the Navigator Black Label. And also, this Escalade Sport does have extra options added to it, so keep that in mind while you're watching this comparison. So today, with both the Escalade and the Navigator, I will be covering the models available, the safety features, engine and towing specs, the exterior, the interior, the infotainment system, and of course the pricing. Alright, let's jump right in and start off with the different models available with both SUVs. Now with the Escalade, you do get quite a few models to choose from, and this even includes the high performance V series, which is just absolutely insane when it comes to power. So with all of the different options available, you can definitely pick the one that fits your needs, whether you're looking more for luxury, sportier styling, or performance. Also, like many buyers that may be considering a extended version, well, the Escalade does come in both sizes, the standard size or the extended ESV version. Now moving over to the Navigator, you do have fewer trims available compared to the Escalade, but I think Lincoln keeps things fairly straightforward and easy to understand. Something I do like though is that even when stepping up into the higher trims, pricing can stay relatively competitive compared to the Escalade. And I'll talk about pricing more towards the end of the video. Also, like the Escalade, the Navigator is available in both standard wheelbase and the longer Navigator L version as well. Now let's move to the safety features that do come standard with both SUVs. Both of these are very well equipped and come with a great list of active safety features, including things like automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assistance, adaptive cruise control, and just plenty of other driver assist technologies designed to make driving easier and safer. The Navigator gives you all of the major modern systems you'd expect in a flagship luxury SUV, while the Escalade leans a little more towards the technology side with features like the advanced camera systems, trailer focus assistance features, and a stronger focus on the driver awareness technology. So if you're looking for a more traditional luxury approach with all of the major safety features covered, the Navigator does a great job on that. But if you want something that has that extra high-tech feel and as much technology packed in as possible, then I'd give this to the Escalade. Now let's talk about the engine and towing specs for both of these SUVs, because this really comes down to what you want out of your vehicle. The Navigator comes with a twin-turbocharged V6 that delivers 400 horsepower and 510 pound-foot of torque, and it also has a slight advantage when it comes to towing capabilities. And towing wise, it's about 8,700 pounds depending on your wheel size. The turbocharged setup also gives you the strong low-end torque, which helps make acceleration feel effortless, especially with a larger SUV like this. On the Escalade side, Cadillac continues to offer the great 6.2 liter V8, which most people love, and I think this just brings a completely different personality to the driving experience. The V8 delivers 420 horsepower and 460 pound-foot of torque and has the traditional V8 sound, and I feel like a lot of buyers are still really enjoying that. And towing wise, you're looking at about 8,000 pounds. So if you're looking for something that feels refined, smooth, and gives you that classic luxury SUV experience, the Escalade definitely has a lot of appeal. But if you're prioritizing maximizing power, torque, and towing capability, then I'd give this to the Navigator. Also for towing, the Navigator gets a slight edge here because of its Pro Trailer Backup Assist, which can make backing up a trailer much less stressful. Don't get me wrong, the Escalade still offers plenty of trailer technology, but I think it focuses more on monitoring and assistance rather than active steering support. Now let's start off with the exterior design, because both of these full-size luxury SUVs make a serious statement, but they go about it very differently. Starting with the Escalade Sport, I really like how aggressive and sporty it looks. Right away, you notice all of the gloss black trim throughout the front lower portion of the bumper and the grille area. And this stands out a lot with all of these bits and pieces, and I think Cadillac did a really good job making it look bold without overdoing it. You also get the illuminated Cadillac badge along with a front-facing camera. Even the turn signals are pretty unique as you get these super thin lights, and even around the LED lights, you have more gloss black. black. And as for these vertically stacked LED lights, I am digging the designing of these. The Escalade almost has more of that modern and almost futuristic look to it. Now moving over to the Navigator Black Label. This one takes a slightly different approach. Instead of looking aggressive, I think it leans more towards that elegance and luxury style. You still have a lot of the gloss black on the lower bumper area and within the grille area that also has these bits and pieces of chrome detailing. Also is this sleek LED light bar that stretches across the front and goes into the LED lights along with the illuminated Lincoln badge. Now overall, the front has more of an elegant style like I was mentioning, so it is completely different than the Escalade. Now coming around to the side, both of these SUVs are massive, so road presence definitely isn't an issue. Starting with the Escalade Sport, you have a dual pane panoramic sunroof. There's also the gloss black roof rails, gloss black all around the window trimming, and you do have the body color door handles with the illuminated strip, which is cool, and the side mirrors are a mixture of body color with the gloss black. You've got the turn signal built in and a side mirror camera. There's also the power side steps for easy access and these nice looking 22-inch wheels, which definitely look sharp with this. I also really like that the Escalade has the adjustable air suspension so you can raise it and lower it, and it definitely adds to both the convenience and the appearance. Over on the Navigator Black Label now, you also get the dual pane panoramic sunroof. There's also the roof rails, but these are in chrome, and even around the windows the trimming is in chrome, so you're going to notice a lot of chrome compared to the gloss black with the Escalade. And within the center pillar here, within the gloss black, you do have the codes that you can set up. The door handles on this are also body color with a strip of gloss black, and the side mirrors are a mixture of gloss black with some chrome, the turn signals, and a side mirror camera as well. And I really like this trim piece on the side of the Navigator because it stands out way more than the Escalade one. The Navigator also has the power side steps and these 22-inch wheels, which I think look a lot better than the Escalade ones. Now let's come around to the rear and take a look at both of these SUVs because the premium design language definitely continues on. Starting with the Escalade Sport, I really like the massive vertical LED tail lights because they instantly tell you what vehicle is coming down the road. You also get the dual exhaust outlets, a hidden trailer hitch in the center of the bumper, and a separate opening rear glass section, which is actually very convenient if you're just grabbing smaller items. Also is the camera back here for your digital rear view mirror. Now in terms of the cargo space, it's what you would expect from a 3-row SUV, and it's honestly decent. Now this is a tiny bit bigger than the Navigator, but you really can't tell a difference. You also get the power folding second and third row seats, but with the third row you can not only power fold them down but back up as well. There's also additional storage underneath the carpet area here, so you can definitely utilize that. And also back here you're gonna find the premium AKG audio system subwoofer integrated into the side. Now the Navigator also has unique taillights as you get this cool looking material that looks like glass and stretches across the back. There's also the hitch hidden in the middle of the bumper, just like the Escalade, and instead of the split glass like the Escalade, the Lincoln gives you a 2-piece split tailgate setup. I think this is one of the coolest features because not only can you just open up the top portion, but once the lower section folds down, you can actually use this as a seating area that can definitely be utilized. As for the cargo space itself, it's also good just like the Escalade, but like I mentioned, it is a tiny bit smaller on paper, but in reality, if you're looking at it in person, you really can't tell. And with the Navigator, you only have the third row power control, so not the second row, just the third row. There's also additional storage underneath the carpet area as well. All right, let's jump inside because this is where both SUVs really start showing their personalities. Starting with the Escalade Sport here, I like how you can get the soft closing doors, and I think that's a huge thing, especially if you have little ones in the car. Now inside, I do like how you can get 3 different interior colors, plus you do have the nice shiny black trimming and the aluminum trimming that do stand out. So this has the AKG sound system like I was mentioning, so it is a 21 speaker setup. Now let's start in the third row, and to get back there, you can use the levers on the side of the second row seats, or there is this button here to fold the seat and then it folds up again. And back here, you just get the plain soft touch material. I do wish you got the perforated middle sections even back here since this is a luxury SUV. But back here, the legroom is pretty good to be honest. My only issue would be the thigh support as it's a tiny bit lower for my liking. But for the headroom, like I can move around perfectly back here and it's what you would expect in a 3-row SUV. And for reference, I'm 5'11" and I fit perfectly back here. Now let's move to the second row. You can see the way that these are designed. It is so much better than the third row. And you do have the captain's chair, so you have your own armrest. You can also recline these seats, and the second row seats also come heated, which is nice. And in the second row, the legroom and the headroom is good as well, so you're not going to have any issues when it comes to that. I also like that with the Escalades, you can get these rear entertainment screens to keep the kids occupied. Now moving over to the Navigator Black Label, you also get 3 different interior color options, which is nice. And with this one, you do have it in brown. It's actually not that bad, so it's like a nice subtle brown in my opinion. There's also the aluminum plating around the speakers, which I think adds a nice little luxury feel. And with the Black Label, you do get the 28 speaker Revel Ultima 3D sound system. And starting in the third row, I like how you can just press a button and the whole seat just moves automatically without any manual labor needed. And once you're back here, I love these seats because you can tell that these were given love. And what I mean by that is the perforated middle sections. And clearly you can just see that it amplifies how the seat looks. But back here, in terms of the legroom, it's not all that bad. Again, it's similar to the Escalade and you'll be perfectly comfortable back here. Now, the only thing that I wish is that there wasn't any middle console for the second row, because that could have been used as access to get to the third row or just stretch out your legs. However, to make up for it, check out the thigh support in the third row. This is how 3-row SUVs should be, because it doesn't feel like I'm sitting on the floor. And I know for long road trips, I will be super happy back here. And as for the headroom, even this is good, and I'm wearing a hat. So with either SUV, you're not going to have any legroom or headroom issues. Also, you can power adjust the third row seats, which is nice. And back here, you have 2 USB ports on each side. So you get a ton of USB ports in this. Also, in the Black Label, the third row seats are also heated. And if you happen to look up into the ceiling, well, the headliner is covered in suede. Now moving to the second row, like I mentioned, you have that center console. So it kind of gives you that executive seat style going on. But for these seats themselves, these also have the nice styling. However, not only do these come heated and ventilated, but there's also a built-in massage feature. And these seats are power adjustable. And in the center, like I was mentioning, you have this nice console, but not nice if you're in the third row. And you have a little screen up here as well for all your controls. And even underneath, once you open up this section, you have a ton more space. Now, as for the legroom and the headroom in the second row, again, you're not going to have any issues, so there's nothing to worry about. Now, although you can't get screens back here, instead, you do get 2 more USB ports on both of the sides built into the rear of the front seats. Now, let's move to the Escalade for a second and head to the front of it. These seats are identical to the second row, and these do come heated and ventilated. And even though the Escalade has less speakers than the Navigator, I do like the built-in speakers in the headrest. And over on the side here, you have all of your different controls, and the steering wheel does come power adjustable. Now let's head to the front of the Navigator, because the nice seat designing continues up here as well, and these seats are also heated, vented, and have a built-in massage feature as well. Now there's no built-in speaker within the headrest, even though this has more speakers than the Escalade, but I do like this chrome piece they added with the Lincoln symbol. It's just a nice little touch. Now, not only do you have power adjustable pedals, but also the same power adjustable steering wheel. Okay, now let's jump inside and take a look at everything else with both of these SUVs. Starting with the Escalade, you do have this speaker grille that stretches across the whole dashboard. Now, the whole thing is not a speaker, but you do have speakers within it. Plus, you do have the heads-up display, and then you can't go but notice this massive 55-inch curved display with the speakers on the corner. Something I like that Cadillac did is the display actually sits closer to you compared to the Navigator, and it's easily reachable if you are using the touchscreen or even through the rotary dial. And something I think that is really cool in the cluster area is that you do have the AR view, the augmented reality view, which is pretty neat. Both vehicles do have the hands-free driving, but I think the Super Cruise is slightly better. Moving to the armrest area, both vehicles are unique in their own way, and with the Escalade, the main section is slightly smaller than the Navigator. Now, on the center console, there's a ton of gloss material here, and you get this open styling and even the space behind the screen here. And as for the screen, from here you can control a bunch of things like the seat controls, climate controls, some vehicle settings like the lighting, and cameras. And speaking of cameras, you have all of these angles around the Escalade, which make it easy for parking and towing. Then you have the main touchscreen, which you can either touch obviously or use the rotary dial, and the passenger also has has a screen. There's also the digital rear view mirror like I mentioned. Now over on the passenger side, you do have a USB port and an HDMI port down here. And then here is what the passenger screen looks like. Now it's the same info you see on the rear entertainment screens. And to open up the glove box, there is no latch. It's all done from the touchscreens. All right, let's head over to the Navigator because you also have this massive screen, but this one is a 48-inch display with the speakers on the corner as well. Now the dashboard thing that I was talking about, you can see the Navigator pushes the screen way too far back, I think, but I think they do this so then it's kind of like within your eyesight. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I think it's just way too far back. And like I mentioned, the Navigator also has the hands-free driving. And as for your steering wheel, you have this very unique steering wheel. So you kind of get like a flat top and a flat bottom. Now on the steering wheel, there are no physical buttons with like images of what it is. Instead, you get a trackpad, which then displays things in the cluster area. Now I do prefer having actual buttons so I can see what they are, because I think this is just going to confuse me. Now over on the armrest area, this is also unique because you do have these two pads, but there is slightly more space in here compared to the Escalade like I was mentioning. And something cool that the Navigator has is this thing, which is for different scents that you can add. And on the console, everything is covered on this, and it is covered with this cool trimming. And both of these sections do open up, revealing USB ports, wireless phone charger, and your cup holders. And even under the console here, you have more space, which I like. So there's like never ending space in this. Also a unique thing with the Navigator is that your drive buttons are on the center here instead of a traditional shifter or a lever by the steering wheel. Like the Escalade, you also have a screen that displays everything, and you can also rearrange the top screen on the dash with different information, which is nice. You also have this rejuvenate setting that gives you like this spa-like sound and visuals. Finally, let's talk pricing of these two SUVs. The Escalade Sport comes in at around $146,000 Canadian, while the Navigator Black Label comes in at roughly $148,700 Canadian. So honestly, there really isn't a huge difference between the two. Something I do like is that for not a whole lot more money, you're stepping into the Black Label, which is essentially Lincoln's top luxury trim level. So there's definitely value there depending on what you're looking for. With that being said, I think both vehicles bring something unique to the table, and it really comes down to what you want out of your SUV. The Navigator, I think, leans more towards the smooth luxury, comfort, and strong performance, while the Escalade has more of that bold, high-tech luxury feel and the stronger road presence. If I personally had to pick one, I think I'd probably go with the Escalade just because I really like the styling and just the overall bold design of the exterior. So that does it for the comparison between the 2026 Escalade Sport versus the 2026 Navigator Black Label. Let me know in the comments down below, which one would you guys pick?